Welcome to our training on asbestos, Class 3 and Class. This training course is divided into 3 separate learning parts. In this part, Introduction, we will provide you with an introduction to the course, an overview of the applicable federal regulations for each asbestos work classification, and additional information about the intended audience for this training course. The first part, Asbestos Awareness, will describe asbestos, its health effects, where it is commonly found, and ways to prevent exposure. The second part, Asbestos Control Measures, will outline the precautionary measures you and your employer must take to reduce or eliminate asbestos exposure. The third part, Respiratory Protection, will provide an overview of various types of respirators, their limitations, and how to properly don and doff a respirator. Each part contains clearly stated objectives as well as learning activities and quizzes to help you practice what you've learned. Links to resources that add value to your learning experience may be bookmarked or added to your browser's favorites for later reference. The purpose of this training course, taken in its entirety, is to provide Class 3 and Class 4 asbestos workers with the knowledge and skills necessary to identify asbestos hazards, prevent and control asbestos exposure. The course will discuss the hazards of asbestos, the nature of operations that could result in exposure to asbestos, and the importance of necessary protective controls, including work practices, engineering controls, and respiratory protection to minimize exposure. The duration of all 3 parts of this training course is approximately 2 hours. Work classifications. The OSHA standards for the construction and shipyard industries classify the hazards of asbestos work activities and prescribe particular requirements for each classification. Class 1 is the most potentially hazardous class of asbestos jobs and involves the removal of thermal system insulation, TSI, and sprayed-on or troweled-on surfacing asbestos-containing materials or presumed asbestos-containing materials, PACM. Class 2 includes the removal of other types of asbestos-containing materials that are not thermal system insulation, TSI, such as resilient flooring and roofing materials containing asbestos. Class 3 focuses on repair and maintenance operations where asbestos-containing or presumed asbestos-containing materials are disturbed. Class 4 pertains to custodial activities where employees may contact asbestos-containing materials, ACM. Course Audience. This course is designed for both Class 3 and Class 4 asbestos workers who work in asbestos-containing or presumed asbestos-containing environments. Additional training is required for Level 1 and Level 2 asbestos workers. This concludes our asbestos Class 3 and Class 4 workers training introduction. Please proceed to Part 1, Asbestos Awareness.